Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like pretty soon there will be laws mandating that we should like certain kind of things that we might not like. But nevertheless, there might be penalties for not liking certain things. We're getting there. Great Britain has this little article here, or at least the Telegraph has an article from Great Britain that is very interesting, and I would like to share it with you. Here it is, the Telegraph. It is the hospital cancelled my surgery after I complained about transgender nurse. So this person here, Teresa Steele, made a same-sex request after a trans woman nurse entered her pre-op examination room uninvited. A woman whose surgery was cancelled because she demanded same-sex care has claimed she could have been killed by the delay. So her surgery was cancelled, not rescheduled. Teresa Steele was informed over email that her operation at the Princess Grace, a private hospital in central London, England, United Kingdom, which specializes in women's health, had been scrapped as a result of her request that only biological women be involved in her intimate care, and later developed an abscess. The former solicitor made a request after a transgender nurse entered her pre-op examination room uninvited. The hospital originally accused her of discriminating against the nurse, but has since apologized for breaching Mrs. Steele's privacy and dignity. Let me share with you what the hospital did and under what kind of pressure they apologized. The abscess, which she believes may have been caused by the stress of the incident, meant that her rescheduled operation could not be completed, leaving her in pain for months. She alleges that she was the victim of discrimination and suffered direct harm because of the Princess Grace's decision to cancel her operation, but has said that she will waive any legal action if the hospital puts in place protections for other patients. Very noble of her. So, let's see what's going on here. Miss Steele, whose surgery was only rescheduled after a public outcry, including a petition with thousands of signatures, told the company, and I'm quoting, "It is not a personal issue for me. Since my experience with HCA, I have been contacted by many women patients who are now too afraid to speak out. It is, and I'm quoting, it is particularly distressing to hear from disabled women, including a young woman who is paralyzed and has been forced by a private agency to accept intimate care from men under threat of her care being withdrawn." End quote. So Miss Steele has tried to work with the HCA. HCA is what is going on? HCA is, it says that one of the UK largest private healthcare company. So healthcare company. Okay, we got that covered. So she said that she tried to work with HCA for the last 10 months, but she decided to speak out after it refused to commit to a time frame for a review of its policies. The HCA has worked with the NHS for more than a decade, and next year is due to open a £100 million private hospital in partnership with the University Hospitals, Birmingham, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is important right here. Email between staff and by the Telegraph said that they, and I'm quoting, perceived the patient's request and rationale as a discrimination on gender and sex against hospital employees. So the staff, hospital staff or whomever, this guy, the NHA, whatever it is, National Hospital, Healthcare, whatever, seen by the Telegraph, said that they perceived the patient's request, Miss Steele's request, and rationale as a discrimination. So she was discriminating on gender and sex against the hospital employees. End quote. Now this is important right here as well. At 7:36 p.m. the following evening, which was Friday, Maxine Extop Green, the hospital CEO, emailed her notifying her that, this is very important, and I'm quoting, "We do not share your beliefs and are not able to adhere to your requests." End quote. So the hospital does not share her beliefs. That's why you should not we're not going to adhere to your request. And therefore the operation was being cancelled. Can you fucking believe this? Mrs. Steele did not see the email and only found out about the cancellation when her prescription did not arrive. She tried to contact Miss Estop Green but got her out of the office all weekend. The CEO later admitted that Miss Steele's privacy and dignity were breached. This is what she really believes right here. This is what she really believes right here. And then because the outcry, she said this. She admitted that Mrs. Steele's privacy and dignity were breached when the trans nurse entered her room, and Mrs. Estop Green said she sincerely apologized and recognized, and I'm quoting, how unsettling this might have been, end quote. And then she drank a few beers. All right, my friends, and you can read the rest of it. What followed was a mass protest by women rights activists. It's a testament to the power of the women's rights movement in the UK, end quote, Miss Steele said. And you can read the rest and you make up your mind. So you're going to go pretty soon to a hospital. Let's say I'm a man and I go over there and I say, oh, well, I have a little thing over there. Click, but it needs to be fixed somehow, and I request to have a male medical personnel. I don't want a woman to fondle my balls or something, okay? For various reasons, I don't know, that I might have. And they say, no, we don't share that, we want this is what we got, you take it, otherwise you discriminate against our staff. Or, this is not only about this, it's about other things. Let's say you don't have the same political views. And they don't share those political views, like Nigel Farage with his stupid bank. Remember the Coots bank that they closed his account because he was what, a politically exposed person, PEP. Remember? Well, look into it, and you're gonna find out how he got the CEO fired, Miss Rose. If I remember correctly, that's her name, Rose, CEO of Coats, and he wants much more than that. Nigel Farage. I'm very familiar with the issue, but it's not here. I'm just mentioning it to show you that those guys said that Mr. Farage's views are, and they have certain kind of values. Your value is to make sure the money is in the bank over there, and you give the money back when the customer wants them back, not request, wants them back, demands them back. Cash on the nail right there. So anyway, what do you think about this one? Because it goes from one to another. Next could be, I don't know, you don't have blue eyes, they have different values. You don't have the right size or this, you're not going to be, is that okay? I don't think it's okay. This opens, a door for certain discrimination. Now, it doesn't mean that you can show up at a hospital and demand, I don't know, only 6 feet tall, blue-eyed, dark hair, I don't know, Romanians to work on you. You know what I mean? You can say, well, if you don't do that. No, but that's about intimate situation here. And she has her own, concerns with the staff. How they switched, she sincerely apologized. Yeah, and the first email was what? We don't share your freaking views, so off. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.